Hello everyone, this is the Leech bringing you a cast today for the Matchcast of the Week for DiedAgain.com. I have a very special game for you today between the Red Terran here on Terminus, Liquid TLO, oh yes, the one and only the little one, playing as Terran, and his opponent, a new up-and-coming player that's getting a lot of attention right now, will be a yellow Zerg here in the top right of Terminus, named from Vile, Spanishiwa. Yes, Spanishiwa. He is a very solid Zerg player and has a very unique style. He plays with no gas until very late in the game, sometimes until 30 or 40 supply. And it's a very interesting style. He usually gets a decent amount of queens to defend and a lot of spine crawlers. And it has been very effective lately. A lot of people are having a hard time dealing with it. And he also gets a very fast expansion. So you can see him here heading out on 14 or 15. Actually going to be a scouting drone. So I'm getting a little bit too far ahead of myself here. But as I was saying, until very late in the game, and like I said, it's hard for a lot of people to deal with. They're not used to this type of style, and people are still trying to adjust. TLO, also known for his very interesting play. Both these players are Grandmaster League players. TLO has most recently been ranked number 1 and kind of hovers around in the top 10 in the European there, and Spanishiwa is like the top 20 or top 30 in the US, so very solid player as well. Both these guys just, top of the line players, really, really strong players. And I'm glad that TLO is not playing random anymore. He's sticking to his Terran background, and I really enjoy watching him play Terran. Spanishiwa here is taking a 14 hatch, it looks like, and very normal stuff from, and that is a pretty early hatchery. It's kind of normal, a little faster than normal though. And you do see the spawning pool coming down now for Spanishiwa, and we're probably not going to see him get any gas for a while because, like I said, this is the playstyle that he goes, and he really likes to play an interesting style with a lot of queens, with some Nidus Worms later on, and he'll often use the queens with big tier units like Broodlords or Ultralists, and heal them later on in the games with Transfuse, and it really is very effective. So we'll see what he decides to do this game, but he has been known for interesting play like that. TLO is going to be getting a fast expand here as well on Terminus. It's very easy even to take this second and third base here, as the only way to get into the base is through this one area that is fairly easily defended. We'll see in the spawning positions here, TLO does have what I would call a slight advantage because it's going to be easier for him to do drops on this third base. If we look at how close these are here, literally like inches apart here. So he's very close to the third base of Spanishiwa, and he can easily do drops. Also, this third expansion here does have a reduced amount of minerals and just one rich Vespene geyser. So it is not a full expansion, but it's an easy third base, and very solid for like Terran players because usually it can get difficult for them to take a third base, and it's also nice for Zerg. And a lot of the times when Terran take these early first bases, then you'll see the Zergs go for a quick third. And here he comes moving down now. We're probably going to see him take this third right away. Yep, there he goes. So Spanishiwa still sticking true to his style. If we look around here, still no gas. He's at 31 supply right now, so still just droning up hard. You see he's sending a few Zerglings to scout the front here. TLO does have 3 racks going up right now, and a second orbital command on the way. He already has the first done in his main. This hatch now about halfway complete for Spanishiwa, and you can see that TLO just sending up another SCV to see what he can see. Still no gas out by Spanishiwa at 35 supply now. Very interesting, getting 2 spine crawlers here at this one choke. And like I said, pretty easy to defend there, and he's really being aggressive with spreading this creep. That's another thing I like about his style, is that he can spread creep very quickly, but a lot of the time he doesn't, because when he uses the Nidus Worm type strategies, he doesn't need the creep to move his armies around quickly because he just puts up Nidus Worms everywhere. So it's pretty cool to watch him do that stuff, especially when he gets a lot of Ultralists and heals them with queens. Means they're going to take out that little scouting SUV. Drone. Sorry, we do have Stim on the way right now. Terran players electing to go for that upgrade very early with the increased time on it, as it's 180 seconds instead of 140, and a 4th barracks coming down right now, as well as a factory for TLO. TLO is sitting on quite a few gas right now, and we do see 2 extractors coming down right now for Spanishiwa, both at the natural expansion here. And usually when he starts getting gas, he really gets all those extractors down very quickly. He'll usually get sometimes 4 at a time, and so he just gets a large influx of gas, and then he gets everything he needs. 4th barracks about to finish up now for TLO. Stim is about halfway complete. He is also getting a starport and a reactor down I believe he's getting the reactor on the factory, and then he'll go ahead and switch it with that starport. Where is the starport? Oh, right down here. Yes, he is getting the reactor on the factory. That'll be finished the same time the starport comes up, and then he can switch them over. Baneling Nest is coming down right now for Spanishiwa, back behind the natural expansion here. You can see he's kind of putting his tech in a few different places. Has a spawning pool here at the main, just now getting speed for his Zerglings. So at 66 supply and just now getting speed for Zerglings. Very interesting play by him. And that Baneling Nest is about halfway done, so you can see Stim is about to complete for TLO. Lots of drones now coming down here to the third base of Spanishiwa. And you can see Spanishiwa does have the map control right now, keeping this Zelnaga tower here. He wants to know exactly when TLO moves out and when he needs to start making more attacking units. You can see 3 more extractors coming down right now for Spanishiwa. 2 at his main here, and the 1 Rich Vespine at his third base. Also have the layer tech coming up for him right now at the natural expansion as well. Engineering base now coming down for TLO. Wants to start getting those upgrades for the infantry as soon as possible, as he is going quite a heavy barracks build here. Looks like he's going to start moving out with a group of Marines and 2 medevacs, and we'll see how this works out for him. This is an interesting attack. Spanishiwa is creating a decent amount of Zerglings right now, and if we take a look at the units right now, we see there's 4 Banelings morphing in. There's 25 Marines out for TLO, and most of them are moving out for this attack right now. And you can see that Spanishiwa is 20 ahead on the worker count right now. Lots more Banelings come in. Looks like 18 Banelings come in right now. Here comes TLO's attack, though, at the front. Continuing to progress up. He's going to see these 2 spine crawlers, and we'll see what he decides to do here. Stimming up. There's a lot of Banelings, though, chasing down his army right now. And TLO trying to move back, nicely microing them. Oh, that 1 Baneling, though, takes out a lot of Marines. About half those Marines taken out by 1 Baneling. TLO continuing to move his Marines backwards, and really just going to have to get off the creep to try and kill these anymore. But Spanishiwa is going to pull his Banelings back, and you can see Spanishiwa is now ahead in supply by about 24, 25. So TLO is going to elect to pull back after that. Not feeling too good about that play. Probably lost a lot of Marines and really didn't take out much. 8 spine crawlers now coming down for Spanishiwa. So Spanishiwa, knowing that drops can come because they're so close, he gets 4 spine crawlers at his third base. Looks like 4 at his natural expansion and a few here at his main as well. That is a lot of spine crawlers. More Marines now heading out as combat shield is finished up. He is getting siege mode right now and continuing to pump out siege tanks. TLO just moving on to the creep and then deciding he's going to back up. And as you can see, the reaction he got there from Spanishiwa, a lot of spine crawlers. So many spine crawlers coming down. And TLO looks like he's going to try a drop instead. And we'll see how this is going to work out for him. We see Baneling speed coming down right now for Spanishiwa, as well as Burrow and Pneumatized Carapace. And also level 1 attacks coming down for him right now. So Marine's going to be dropping here at the third. Lots of Zerglings running in. Banelings behind them. TLO is wisely going to pick up here and probably head back home. Looked like he was going to push a little bit farther, but saw that queen there. Infestation Pit just about to finish up now for Spanishiwa. You can see TLO is taking his third base right now, instantly getting that refinery up. And Spore Crawler is now starting to come down for Spanishiwa. Spanishiwa also taking a 4th base here in the top right position, which is the farthest distance away from the Tyrannus he can get. So it is a pretty nice place to expand there. But you know what? Is the smaller expansions. That's an interesting choice, man. I don't know why he wouldn't just go for the bigger one right off the bat. TLO now loading and unloading Marines there, and gonna decide to go in for another push, and we'll see where he decides to try and land this at. There is Overlord's place in very smart position by Spanishiwa. See, TLO has taken the supply lead right now, but here comes Spanishiwa right now with a lot of Zerglings and Banelings at the front of TLO's base here. TLO is loading up lots of siege tanks here, gonna float out a lot of medevacs, and if these Banelings and Zerglings is trying to do a bust here, Banelings trying to decide where they want to hit. Gonna take out some Marines, but not even break the wall in. So that is not good for Spanishiwa. That is not going to do the damage he wants to do. TLO loading up all the tanks once again. He's going for a large drop here. All those Zerglings are going to be pushed away by just a few Marines. And you can see those Banelings starting to morph again. Wants to try and do another bust there. But here comes a huge drop. There is a drop at the third going on right now of Spanishiwa's base, and another drop is going to be coming in towards the main, it looks like, with lots of siege tanks and Marines. We'll see if he's able to do the damage he wants to do here. Dropping now in the main. Siege tanks are probably going to siege up very quickly. Yes, here they go. Getting sieged up right now. He wants to be able to attack any units. There is some infestors out on the field right now for Spanishiwa, so TLO needs to be careful there. Infestors getting blown up. Zerglings now streaming in very quickly on this creep They're going to be able to surround all the siege tanks and take everything down. There's just too many Zerglings out right now. You see the supplies sticking very close right now for both people. And lots of Banelings now morphing in. TLO's units are all dead already, though, so the Banelings were there for nothing. The fourth base now is finished up for Spanishiwa. TLO pulling his medevacs back, wants to keep those alive as long as possible, and there really isn't much anti-air that Spanishiwa can chase him with. And you can see Spanishiwa is getting 4 more queens right now. So really not joking around. He loves those queens. Is getting the neural parasite upgrade for those infestors and continuing to spread his creep. Lots of Zerglings running towards the end of the creep here. Wants to see what's going on in the base of TLO. TLO just continuing to pull back some medevacs. And Nidus Network coming down now for Spanishiwa. We'll see where he's actually laying that down at. Those Zerglings and Banelings and Infestors looking like they want to push in here. I believe, yes, there is some siege tanks here. 1 siege tank at the front for TLO, so these units aren't going to be able to do too much without taking heavy losses. TLO is in the supply lead again, 145 to 138, and that Nidus Network is about to complete. 3 more queens on the way. Lots of siege tanks pumping out right now for TLO. Getting 2 at a time, it looks like. And here comes the Zerglings. They're going to push in, take a few hits, and decide that's not going to be such a hot idea. TLO doing another drop here in the main, dropping another siege tank and lots of Marines. Going to siege that up, and he can do a lot of damage to these drones. Spanishiwa doesn't look like he knows it yet. And these drones are going to start getting shelled by that siege tank. They do decide to back up. Ultralisk Cavern is down for Spanishiwa, and he's starting to make 3 Ultralisks right now. Ultralisk Cavern is here at the 3rd base, right next to this Nidus Network. So we could see some of that patented Queen and Ultralisk play, and it is so strong and so difficult to deal with. TLO doing another drop here at the 4th base with his tank and a lot of Marines. He lifted him up from the main to try and do some more damage here. Nidus Swarm is about to finish up, though, and TLO is going to come attack this 5th base here of Spanishiwa to try and get a cancel on it, and it looks like he is going to get a cancel. Yes, he does. Siege tank going down, though. Big loss there. You should have been able to lift that up with that medevac, but the medevac was almost dead. And all these Marines here just barely 2 living, 3 living, able to take out some Zerglings. Overlords here starting to move up for Spanishiwa. Might be making a little bit more of a creep highway. And heard a Nidus Worm going down. It's hard to follow all these, though, and it's difficult to see where they really are here. There's Marines placed in very good spots all over the place. Ultralisk now moving in right now for Spanishiwa. There's 3 of them up here. TLO still has this medevac sitting up here. It looks like it all got cleaned up. Spanishiwa's loading up things into the Nidus Network. TLO doing another drop, dropping 3 siege tanks, and a lot of Marines are going to do a lot of damage at this 3rd base. Banelings, though, coming in. Fungal growth on the Marines, and neural parasiting one of the tanks. And fungal growth with Banelings hitting him is just a lot of damage. Too much damage for those Marines to deal with. And this drop is going to be cleaned up eventually. It is doing some damage, but not killing the hatchery, not killing the Ultralisk Cavern. Really didn't do the damage he needed to do with that drop right there. If we take a look at the units lost tab, we're going to see that TLO is 1,100 behind. It's not too terribly far behind, but definitely would rather be ahead on a count like that. Ultralisk now starting to push towards the front of TLO's base. Siege tank's not sieged up right now, so they're going to need to get into good position here. Ultralisk do so much damage to buildings so quickly, and he is going to decide to back up, though. We do see a Nidus Worm coming down right now in the main of TLO, and this can do a lot of damage. Doesn't look like TLO's noticed yet. Lots of Queens coming out with Ultralisks, and these Queens can keep the Ultralisks alive for so long. 5 more Ultralisks coming out right now for Spanishiwa. TLO trying to move his army up to deal with these, and we'll see what Spanishiwa decides to do. Spanishiwa is going to be dropping creep tumors here on this creep that started. 3 creep tumors, so that creep is going to be spreading so quickly. And lots of Ultralisks here doing damage, losing Ultralisks. Those siege tanks sieged up in a decent position. And gonna fend everything off, though. Spanishiwa gets some units back in to that Nidus Network, and is going to get them away as soon as possible. 1 Ultralisk here sitting here and watching the Vikings. Vikings starting to head out towards the expansions here. And this Nidus Network was cleaned up there by TLO. But still has 2 Ultralisks sitting in there. Actually, more than 2 Ultralisks, like 8 Ultralisks sitting in his Nidus Network. So if he can find another good place to Nidus Worm. And I hear the sound again. We will have to see where the magic's happening at. TLO's doing another big load up, looking like he's going for